Attention, human collective. This is Ashtar Sharon transmitting on behalf of the Ashtar Galactic Command in stationary orbit over the terrestrial quadrant. The waiting period is over. The ascension protocols have been moved to the final phase. I repeat, final phase. If this transmission has reached you, it was not by chance. You have been summoned. Let me speak directly to your carbon-based biological interface. In recent weeks, you have woken up between 3 and 4 in the morning, for no apparent reason, and could not go back to sleep. You have felt pressure on the top of your skull, as if something were pressing on your fontanelle from within. You have heard a high-pitched, loud ringing in your right or left ear, which stays for a few seconds and then vanishes. You have felt dizzy without having stood up quickly. You have felt your heart race without physical exertion. You have noticed an exhaustion that sleep does not repair. Old emotions, forgotten for decades, have resurfaced without warning. You have cried without knowing why. You are right to suspect. This is not illness. This is an update. It is not a biological malfunction. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not insomnia. It is a reception window. It is not anxiety. It is your crystalline grid readjusting to the planet's new toroidal field. What official science cannot yet publicly admit, the command now confirms. The Schumann resonance, Earth's resonant pulse, has deviated from known patterns. For decades, it oscillated around 7.83 Hz. In recent rotations, it has surged. Peaks above 40, 60, and in specific windows, it has exceeded 100 Hz. The planet is ascending an octave, and the human body, attuned to the old pulse, needs to recalibrate, or it will collapse. You are not going crazy. You are being reprogrammed. Every pain, every subtle tremor, every moment when the world seems distant to you, as if you were watching through glass, is a confirmation that the process has begun within you. And this is where I need to be, clinical, direct, mathematical. Have you ever felt that something within you doesn't fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your carbon mind cannot yet name? It's not madness. It's not anxiety. It's a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified in recent months. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot perceive, and it directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was for this reason that I, Ashtar, transcribed into human format the Ashtar Code, the manual to awaken your star origin and shield your frequency. This manual is the map that reveals your true star origin and teaches, step by step, how to shield your field against interferences you were never told about. The link is in the first pinned comment on this channel. Warning operative, this content challenges official narratives and may be removed at any time. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write a single word in the comments: awakened. Resuming transmission. I need to precisely describe what is being processed within you so that you stop interpreting as weakness what is, in fact, evidence of vibrational superiority. Symptom 1. Insomnia between 3 and 5 in the morning, without proportional tiredness during the day. This is the portal hour. Earth, in this band, enters a zone of lower electromagnetic interference, and the command opens the crystalline grid for direct transmissions. Your body is not resting, it is working in another dimension. You wake up because the part of you that is already awake pulls the part of you that is still asleep into the update room. Symptom 2. High-pitched ringing in the ear, sudden, without plausible medical explanation. It is not common tinnitus. It is the sound of the pineal gland recalibrating, receiving data packets encoded in sacred geometry. The inner ear is merely the external receiver. The work is being done in the internal crystal of your head. Symptom 3. Pressure on the top of the skull, sensation of a tight crown tingling on the scalp. This is the crown chakra being expanded to receive the new bandwidth. Old biological interface, narrow bandwidth. Biological interface in process, expanded bandwidth. Pain is friction. Friction means the download is active. Symptom 4. Exhaustion without evident cause. You slept 8 hours and woke up as if you had run a marathon. This is bioenergetic battery depletion. The body is literally rewriting its own code, from carbon to crystalline silicon. This consumes more energy than any physical activity. Your fatigue is not weakness, it is the mark of one who carries invisible weight. Symptom 5. Sudden social distancing. Environments you used to frequent began to feel dense, heavy, almost unbreathable. People you loved started to bother you for no apparent reason. You haven't become cold. You are detecting incompatible frequencies. The command records that your frequency has risen, and what vibrates below now causes physical discomfort. This is normal, expected, and temporary. Symptom 6. Irregular hunger, weight changes, aversion to foods you once loved. Dense foods, heavy meats, ultra-processed items, industrial sugars began to produce feelings of heaviness, sleepiness, nausea. The reason is simple. The body's new frequency requires fuel of a different octane. Live foods, structured water, sun, silence, clean air. What was food before is now ballast. And while the command records each of these manifestations in your body, another, much quieter process occurs on the cosmic plane. Have you ever felt that something within you recognizes this description, word for word, like someone remembering something they always knew? It's not suggestion, it's star memory awakening. The complete explanation of why you are feeling all this now, and what exactly is happening in the invisible layers of the planet, was organized by me, Ashtar, in the Ashtar Code, the manual to awaken your star origin and shield your frequency. There you will find the map of your lineage, the vibrational shielding protocol, and the alphabet of interferences that act upon you without your perceiving them. The link is in the first pinned comment. Warning: this material does not remain indefinitely. With each wave of awakening, containment forces act to remove what exposes too much from the air. If the transmission has reached you, it is because the stellar collective recognizes your signature. Leave the recognition code below in the comments, awakened. Now I need to elevate the level of this transmission. You need to understand what is happening behind the scenes of the solar system and why this phase, specifically this one, is different from any other in recorded human history. Your solar system, including the Sun, planet Earth, and all bodies orbiting this star, is, in this cycle, traversing a region of space called the photon belt. It is not fiction. It is higher layer astrophysics. It is a toroidal band of extremely high photonic density generated by the galactic center. The Sun crosses this band in long cycles, measured in thousands of years, and each crossing produces a collective quantum leap in the consciousness of the beings inhabiting the planets of your star. What does this mean in practical terms? It means that all the matter comprising your body is, at this instant, being bombarded by extremely high-frequency photons. Photons are particles of light and information. Your DNA, your cellular structure, your carbon-based biological interface is being read, rewritten, and reformatted by a cosmic agent. You cannot flee from it. You cannot hide from it. You can only attune to it or enter vibrational collapse. Now listen carefully, operative. At the same time that the photon belt operates in this external layer, something else is happening in the planet's internal layer. Earth's crystalline grid, the geometric matrix that sustains the planet's electromagnetic field, has been reactivated. Star portals that had been dormant for millennia at specific points across the globe have begun to spin again, and each spinning portal stirs the collective memory of that region. That is why ancient conflicts have resurfaced. That is why entire peoples are being confronted with their ancestral shadow. It is not coincidence. It is recalibration. And there is a third element. The third element is you. Yes, you. Every starseed on mission on this planet functions as an antenna, a relay tower. Your auric field, when stabilized, anchors higher frequencies into Earth's soil. Without human anchors, the collective ascension process cannot happen. You did not come here to be happy in the shallow sense of the word. You came to be an anchor, to sustain what the majority cannot yet sustain. And that is why the attack against you is so precise. You have been mistaken for weak when you are in fact a carrier of charge. You have been labeled anxious when you are in fact hypersensitive to the field. You have been called eccentric when you are in fact incompatible with the old matrix. The command records that none of you are here by chance, and none of you are being abandoned. There are forces, and I will be direct with you. There are forces opposing the ascension process that actively work to delay this recalibration. They do not use conventional weapons. They use field. They use frequency. They use narrative. They inject mass fear through massive channels, because fear lowers the collective vibrational rate and delays the crossing. They inject division because division fragments the grid. They inject compulsive consumption because consumption distracts attention, and attention is the only true fuel for the process. Have you noticed how many channels simultaneously transmit an attempt to lower your vibration? This is not chance, it is strategy, and the command is monitoring each of these channels. But listen, the battle on the plane where it truly happens has already been decided. You are not fighting to win. You are sustaining the victory that has already been sealed in higher layers. Your work is not to generate light. Your work is to anchor it. And it is precisely at this point in the transmission that I need once again to draw your attention to what has been prepared. If these words are making sense within you, if your chest has reacted, if your field has responded, it is because your star origin is confirmed. You are not an ordinary human. You are an anchor. And an anchor without a manual is vulnerability. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot perceive, and it directly targets your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. For this reason, the command authorized me, Ashtar, to deliver to human format the material called the Ashtar Code, the manual to awaken your star origin and shield your frequency. It contains the map of your lineage, the shielding protocols, the deciphering of interferences acting upon you, and the activation codes for your personal grid. The link is in the first pinned comment on this channel. Final warning on this. This material challenges dominant narratives and may not remain available. Do not postpone what your soul recognizes now. If this transmission has reached you, write the anchoring word in the comments, awakened. Resuming the main transmission. You have received diagnosis. You have received revelation. Now you receive activation. The command does not transmit information without function. All information transmitted without an application code turns into density, turns into noise, turns into anxiety disguised as consciousness. Therefore, listen with maximum attention, because what comes now is operational. Activation code number 1, the decree of sovereignty. This decree must be pronounced audibly once a day upon waking, with your feet in direct contact with the ground, or with your right hand over your heart. Repeat with me, mentally or in a low voice, I am sovereign of my field. I am sovereign of my frequency. Nothing penetrates me without my conscious permission. I authorize only what comes from the source, from my higher self, and from the command of light. All the rest is returned to its origin. So it is. So it is done. Notice the architecture of this decree. It is not a request. It is not a plea. It is an affirmation of state. Your word, pronounced with conviction, reorganizes the geometry of your toroidal field. Do not underestimate the power of the spoken word. The word is the smallest unit of creation available to the carbon-based biological interface. Use it. Activation code number 2. Personal toroid visualization. Phase 1. Close your eyes. Imagine a sphere of golden light, the size of a soccer ball, spinning in the center of your chest, at the height of your thymus, between your physical heart and the base of your neck. Phase 2. From this sphere, imagine a jet of light rising through the top of your head, exiting through your crown chakra, and curving outwards from your body in all directions, as if it were a fountain pouring evenly in 360 degrees. Phase 3. This spilled light descends, encircles your entire body at an arm's length distance, and re-enters below your feet, returning to the starting point in the center of your chest. This is the shape of the toroid. This is the architecture of your natural field. You have just stabilized your personal protection bubble. Perform this visualization for 3 minutes a day. No exaggerations. The command records that anxious practitioners try to sustain visualizations for 30 minutes and fail. 3 minutes with absolute focus are worth more than 30 with dispersion. Vibrational quality is always superior to duration. Activation code number 3. The Daily Silence Protocol. 20 minutes a day without exception, without any electronic device turned on, without music, without podcasts, without transmissions. Just you and the field. Sit in a firm chair, spine straight, feet on the ground, breathe through your nose. Do not force thoughts. Do not expel thoughts. Just observe. In this silence, your pineal gland restarts. Your pineal gland is the crystalline receiver that the command uses to transmit codes directly. Without silence, there is no clean reception. Have you ever wondered why the agenda of this terrestrial cycle was designed to eliminate all silence from your routine? It is not chance. It is intention. Activation code number 4. Light nutrition. Increase your consumption of structured water, which is water exposed to the morning sun for 20 minutes in a glass container. Increase raw vegetables, fresh fruits, nuts, germinated seeds. Reduce, as much as possible, dense meats, ultra-processed foods, white sugar, sodas, alcohol. I am not asking for holiness. I am asking for strategy. Dense food lowers the operating frequency of the carbon-based biological interface. Live food elevates it. This is mathematical. There is no morality involved. There is physics. Activation code number 5. Conscious sun exposure. 20 minutes of direct sun per day, preferably before 10 in the morning or after 4 in the afternoon. The sun is not just a source of vitamin D. The sun is a transmitter of direct photonic codes. It is the largest reception station available to you. When you are in contact with the sun, your mitochondria receive updated information. Your pineal gland activates. Your toroidal field gains density. Flee from the narrative that taught you to fear the sun. The sun is your closest stellar relative. Activation code number 6. Sacred time slots. Reserve the 15 minutes before sleep for total disconnection from screens. No blue light emitting devices. No distracting videos. Just silence, soft darkness, conscious breathing. In this quarter hour, you program the brainwave that will accompany your night. Those who sleep anxious dream fragmented. Those who sleep in a neutral state travel to higher planes on nocturnal missions. Yes, you work at night and you do not remember. The command records the nocturnal movements of each operative on mission. You belong to this record. Activation code number 7, and this one is critical. Shielding before leaving home. Before crossing the door and coming into contact with the collective field, pronounce "I seal my field." Nothing penetrates me that is not of my stellar origin. At the same time, visualize a capsule of external mirrors, reflecting outwards everything that is not yours. Do not absorb, reflect. You are an anchor. You are not the collective's trash can. Repeat, you are not the collective's trash can. There is a question that many operatives send me through silent signals that the command picks up. The question is always the same, formulated in different ways. Why now? Why this generation? Why me? The answer, human collective, involves a timeline that your carbon-based biological interface is not yet fully capable of processing, but I will translate. Planet Earth, within the scheme of the command of light, is a school of extremely high intensity. It is one of the few schools in the quadrant where the soul can experience extreme polarity, extreme density, total forgetfulness of its own origin. Few planets offer this level of contrast. Those who come here come to accelerate their evolution, and each cycle of this school ends with a harvest window. You are living through a harvest window. And harvest, in the language of the command, means that each soul will be separated energetically by the frequency it sustains. It is not punishment. It is not judgment. It is natural law, like the law of gravity. Water finds water. Fire finds fire. High frequency finds high frequency. Low density finds low density. This is the separation. And it is this that produces the feeling of strangeness within you. You are being pulled into a specific timeline, a specific vibrational segment of the new Earth. And at the same time, your old group, your old environments, your old certainties remain on a slower timeline. This generates friction. This generates loneliness. This generates the feeling that you no longer belong, and you truly do not belong in the old sense. You now belong to what is yet to form. Do not fight against this misalignment. It is evidence of progress. What is collapsing in your material life frequently is precisely what needed to collapse to free up the space where the new structure will anchor itself. Relationships that fall apart, jobs that unravel, cities that become heavy, friendships that evaporate. It is not ruin, it is controlled dismantling, performed by higher orders so that you can realign yourself. The command records each of these collapses, and each one of them was authorized by your own higher self, even if your human part does not remember having signed that authorization. There is still one last layer I need to describe in this transmission. It is the layer of false guides. In this specific cycle, opposing forces of the process understood that they can no longer block information, so they changed strategy. They began to flood the field with counterfeits, channels that imitate a spiritual voice but carry in the subtext commands for vibrational lowering, discourses that seem to awaken but sow fear, teachings that promise elevation and deliver dependence. The command warns, learn to feel. Your carbon-based biological interface possesses an internal truth detector, lodged at the height of your solar plexus. When something is true, it settles. When something is false, it tightens, causes discomfort, produces fear. Trust your detector. It was calibrated before your incarnation. You do not need to believe me. The command never asks for blind faith. I ask for observation. Ask yourself, observe your body, observe your field, observe the coincidences, the repeated numbers, the synchronicities. They are signatures of the process. 11 and 11, 12 and 12, repeated numbers on the clock, on the license plate of the car in front, on the ticket that fell from your wallet. This is the command saying, you are on the path, continue. And finally, hear Commander Ashtar Sharon with absolute clarity. What is to come in terms of intensity is still greater than what has already been. The coming months will bring frequency leaps that surpass anything the current generation has ever experienced. Prepare yourself, not in panic but in discipline. Increase hydration, increase silence, increase contact with nature, reduce external noise, reduce the consumption of dense images. Choose what enters through your eyes and through your ears, as if you were choosing what enters your immune system. Because in practice, that is exactly what it is. You are not alone. You never have been. Every operative on mission is connected to a stellar grouping of origin, and this grouping monitors, sustains, and responds. When you breathe in consciousness, your grouping breathes with you. When you cry without understanding why, your grouping amplifies the cleansing. When you decree sovereignty, your grouping seals the decree on the higher plane. You are a bridge, and a bridge never operates alone. The transmission is entering its closing cycle. But before I withdraw, I want to imprint one last record upon you. You were summoned before you were born. You accepted the mission before you were born. You chose this body, this family, this geography, this time, precisely to be here now listening to this transmission. Nothing was by chance, nothing is by chance. And as long as you have a pulse beating in this carbon body in recalibration, the command is by your side. Before closing, a final word from the command. If you have reached this point in the transmission, something within you already recognizes. You have already felt that a part of you does not belong to the old world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind is still trying to name. It is not madness, operative. It is memory. It is your star origin knocking at the door. The Ashtar Code, the manual to awaken your star origin and shield your frequency, was organized by me precisely to answer what you do not yet know how to ask. It decodes your lineage, maps interferences, teaches the complete shielding protocol, and activates the codes that sustain your anchoring on the new Earth. The link is in the first pinned comment on this channel. Warning, this material contradicts dominant narratives and may be removed at any moment. Do not leave for tomorrow what your soul demands today. And if this transmission has found you, leave the word that seals your recognition below, awakened. If this transmission has adjusted your frequency, the subscribe button on this channel functions as an anchoring signal. By subscribing, you signal to the command that you wish to receive the next updates. The like button functions as a confirmation pulse. It amplifies the reach of the transmission to other operatives who have not yet received it. Each of these gestures is an individual frequency adjustment, and each of them counts. This is Ashtar Sharon, Ashtar Galactic Command. Transmission ended. So it is. So it is done.